video. I was in a graduating class in Newcastle, Delaware, in Christina School District that ushered in busing and desegregation. So for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, we went into town. The school that my group was in wound up having to do 6th grade in yet another school because of a condemning of Mary C.I. Williams. Mary C.I. Williams is now Adams Force Shopping Center in Delaware, just off the exit, the Martin Luther King exit in Delaware, to get for the Blue Rocks Stadium, baseball stadium. They have like a, you know, low grade or small little, I don't know what you call it, not totally pro, but you know, a couple steps down from the Phillies, I guess. I don't know, what do they call that? I forget what they call it, but it's the league that's below the professional league. So Blue Rocks baseball stadium, the Delaware Blue Rocks. Of course, Delaware is known for being the diamond state, so I don't know if rock is close enough. Look at that rock on your finger. Blue Rocks, or they rock the blues. I'm telling you, you know, at least in my experience in Delaware, there's a lot of depression, and I don't know, you know, I didn't know everyone obviously in Delaware, but I'm like, who was anyone like super positive and happy? Or, so anyway, just curious. So anyway, that's the dealio there. Somehow wound up on the conversation of busing in schools and all that. I didn't love school. I had real problems. So, you know, divorce caused a major upheaval, and my sister and I grew up with our mom. She's, you know, she passed away, but she was a totally awesome person. She didn't have a lot of money, so we couldn't really do a lot of things, you know, and we worry, you know, my mom would worry about stuff all the time, rightfully so, while other people were piggy and took everything. That's a fact. We'll do the math later. So, so anyway, it's hard to be involved in tons of activities because there's usually costs involved. Even if you join groups, you know, ice skating, the Scouts, whatever, brownies, there's usually costs involved. It's like, who pays for that? When, you know, when a parent is still reeling from a divorce and is very worried about where her income is going to come from, I think they try to keep replaying patterns in family lives, if you will. So it's like if there was an architect, a really bad architect in the sky, not God, but if there's a really bad architect in a community, say in the Mid-Atlantic region, they need people to stay like in their pigeonholed pattern. So they still need some scenarios to keep playing out over and over and over. And trust me, I've read books on how to break family patterns. You can only do so much, but for some reason, the architect in this particular case, handling certain families surrounding us, they need people to be worried about money. They need them to be, you know, halfway, you know, almost one leg out on the streets. That's how bad that is. While other people are piggy who came along to steal from the other family. So the piggies actually steal. I didn't know this. It's like family rivalries. I didn't even think that way growing up. But it's like having some medieval, you know, or folk story, some bad fairy tale playing out. And what's even weirder is in Florida, especially, they have a lot of this imagery. I lived in Gainesville, Florida for 2.5 years, and they had Furniture Kingdom They had, they have 50 million, Ringling Park, like Ringling Brothers, it's a circus. They have all kinds of store names, imagery, even, decor in houses that still have decor in them. Like you move in and there's a mirror there, like a fairy tale Cinderella mirror that would really like be more fitting for a young girl growing up, or whatever, a child growing up, as opposed to like a retired, woman. They need to maintain this imagery. They need for some people to still be stuck in Little Land, while other people live high on the hog. So, Furniture Kingdom, it looks like the medieval times. We're gonna get medieval times is, it is weird, as if people play these scenarios out in families. Should they handle families? So anyway, Fearless, Shakira, wolf on top of a diamond at whatever you call it, Hard Rock Cafe. This is how bad the scenario is today. We had a bunch of people looking at me like someone should feel ashamed, and they have the sheriff's office bus where they transport prisoners. So this guy's playing into it. So he played into it. This is very, it's called light gang stalking in my case, because usually a whole bunch of vibes come through that are so heavy, it like makes you run in fear. Like, they're trying to make me believe. 500 people are trying to make me believe that someone got arrested, or someone is upset because Sharon sometimes thinks, is there any way to incarcerate whoever set up the whole scenario in 2011, where I was made to believe I'd be murdered in my apartment. It was really, really bad. I believe 1,000,000% that it was the last night of my life. That is a very bad feeling. If you've heard the voice of one of the Idaho 4 roommates calling into 911, as soon as I heard that, I was like, boom, that's what I sounded like. And worse. I recognized that sound immediately. And I would know she was innocent. If anyone ever thought, oh, what if one of the roommates are gonna... Nope. I already know that girl was totally clueless and was freaking out all over the place. If she could have even held the phone is a miracle in and of itself, because the muscles go limp. So, anyway, relentlessly with storylines and themes and people who orchestrate and on the streets since 2011. It's never stopped. It's a lot lighter today. The pandemic pushed out a huge population from Philadelphia. I also was in Gainesville, Florida for 2.5 years, so that switched things up, but it started to show up. So I felt safe at first because I was like, at least I'm with my mom and aunt, and they know me. Like, your mom knows you, so forth and so on. But it would show up regardless.